England.
Cut by the Patriots.
Today, are we ready to slam the door shut on the Cowboys playoffs? Oh, so George Pickens just, he threw his helmet once. Now, if he
Is that better? Look at that.
KW, please don't. This is where the straw man will get you in trouble. Please don't compare George Pickens on and off the field behavior as a paragon of what's not talked about and what is okay compared to Kelce.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
What's the paragon?
Like,
I really don't understand. I'm saying
George Pickens has been heavily criticized for years for his on-field behavior and sideline behavior, right?
Yeah.
And it's far worse than what we've seen from Travis, or you disagree?
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Really?
I think having physical contact is a different line.
Okay.
Besides slamming your stuff. Eagles soar in the second half. Jalen Hurts has won 17 straight games. But can he actually win? We discuss. Meanwhile, talking about the dynasty, Mahomes aired it out. Kelce aired out some grievances. Russ airballed several passes. Chiefs get into the win column. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
More than anything, we just had to clean it up. We were getting drives going, but we kept getting stopped and getting field goals instead of touchdowns. And so I thought the guys did a good job of cleaning it up, and the defense played their tail off, kept us in the game. We just want to play better. We haven't played at our standard these first few weeks. The defense played their tail off, and the offense, we cleaned it up there, but we have to keep building and keep getting better.
Should Chiefs fans feel good about this victory?
Relieved, for sure, and good in this regard. Listen, I know Chiefs Twitter right now, some of which involves some Hall of Fame Chiefs, you know what I mean, are more down on the team right now than I am. And it is because I think, first of all, one of the frustrations I have when we talk about Patrick in comparison to any other quarterback, and it's like, hey, look at his numbers, look at those guys', there is no context for the amount for any player currently or historically for the amount of success Patrick had, in his first 7 years starting, as far as individual success, team success. So when coach says success like a martini, it relaxes you. We don't know what numbers Josh and Lamar would be putting up if they had climbed the mountain 3 times over, those types of things. The reason I bring that up is the only context we have for a team trying to every single year without any gap compete for a championship and doing it is the Patriots. Particularly the Patriots, the last decade Brady was there. And when they made those 8 straight conference championship games, which is the record the Chiefs are chasing at 7 straight, they started 4 of those 8 years 2-2. They spent September, a lot of those years, figuring stuff out. That hasn't been the Chiefs' path, but right now it appears that it is. So I am looking for, is there improvement? I thought week 1, I came in here and I was like, man, that for the first time in forever, that pass defense worries me. I feel better about that now. I don't think it's fixed, but I'm not panicked about it the way I once was. I don't think they are going to fix the running back spot, absent a trade, but I think that might be a trade acquisition that they make. They are getting Worthy back. They will get Rice back. And Thornton, I am cautiously optimistic that he is, you know what I mean, a piece.
Should be, sure.
And so last night they go into the Giants, a team with a great pass rush in theory, where their 2 starting receivers are literally 2 guys who were not good enough to make the Patriots, and they found a way to have a comfortable win after an awful first half. And so I think right now you are in the odd survive and advance portion of your season with a chance to flip the narrative entirely Sunday if you beat the Ravens. And so I feel good about it. The team they are right now could not win a playoff game, except they won't be this team come the playoffs. And in the playoffs, they get a different level of Patrick, at least they have every single year. So that's why I feel relieved and better, I think, than most.
Look, the fans should be, relief is a great word. I mean, it's your first win. You got to get some wins. And like Nick said, these first 6 weeks, whatever, are about surviving. Now, if they beat Baltimore, it becomes different and you start expecting them to win every week again. But right now, it's about surviving until you get guys back. Look, there are still concerns. I don't think you're saying there aren't. Mahomes has had really good moments. I thought he was really good in the second half. He still missed a few throws that were odd for him, but he played well. Harrison Butker
That's
interesting.
He's missed
right?
2 field goals and an extra point.
Yeah, he's been, obviously a huge part of their success the last few years. And so that was odd. That's something to be concerned about. I like, Greg, that Tyquan Thornton might be becoming something. And then when you get Worthy and Rice back, now he's getting more confident and things like that. So there are things to feel good about. We all, I think, expected an ugly win. And, and that's what it was, kind of an ugly win. But, yeah, I feel like the same way I felt about them going in. They're going to win this game. They'll survive until they get their receivers back, and they'll probably be better off for this rough start a month or 2 from now.
Yeah, it's tough because games like this, they still leave you scratching your head trying to figure out, are we good? Are we bad? Like, what are we? However, there should be a level of relief. From my perspective and my seat, watching this team play everything looks unbelievably hard.
Yes.
Unbelievably hard. From the play design, we're seeing Andy Reid call plays, and you know this, like creative plays during the early parts of a season to just sustain drives and get first downs, not to mix up things just to throw a wrinkle in there because we can. No, they have to do that right now. The one positive thing that I see out of this, you guys kind of mentioned it with Thornton, but even beyond that, they're pushing they've clearly made a concerted effort. We're going to push the ball down the field.
Yes.
We're going to keep doing that. And I think that's going to continue to allow them to open up offensively in the passing game because they have nothing in the run game. They got to get better protection for Patrick Mahomes. He's pressing a little bit as that's only natural for him to do because the play that he made on the throw to Pacheco where it's behind the line of scrimmage, he did it twice. I don't see him making that type of play with these other guys out there, and he's not pressing. He's just trying to get something out, create something out of nothing, and I don't think that that's going to be the place when they get full strength, if you will. And I don't know if they ever get full strength, but they got to feel good about getting the win because you cannot lose to the Giants and then feel good being on.
Listen, well, go ahead, KW. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to get your thoughts on this Kelce thing. He had 4 catches for 26 yards. Earlier, I forgot which game it was, that he was super demonstrative, yelling on the sidelines. Here he has whoever Andy Reid kind of initiates contact with. I think this is just odd. I know I'm being told that this is like par for the course, and Andy Reid has like spun it into a positive, like he's firing the team up. It just hit my, this is weird radar.
So this is why I don't think it's weird, KW, this is a guy in Kelce who in his second year threw a flag back at the ref, who has a whole mixtape of sideline meltdowns, if you will, and throwing helmets, who did, in a Super Bowl, bump Andy Reid and almost knock him over, and then they came back to win it. And in that moment, Andy bumps him, and minutes later, at halftime, when the game is, not going well, Andy's asked about it, and he's like, I thought it was good. We need some juice. Yeah. Now, if you are making a bigger, almost societal point about who we allow do things like that, and it's like, they're a competitor, and who does things like that, and they get scolded by the media, and that there's some privilege associated with that, I totally agree with you about there being a double standard there, and that if Travis looked differently or had a different reputation or any of that, it would be a bigger thing. But if you're asking me honestly, do I think this is at all a problem for the Chiefs? My answer to that's no. They were in the midst of they were the first practice after winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He punched a teammate in the head at training camp into one of those little things and then said, I have to stop doing it. And 2 practices later, punched another teammate. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying it's not new.
There's a little element of like the boiling frog here where it's just things have gotten weirder since last year, even though they went to the Super Bowl. A few years ago, and Greg made me think of it, they were doing that snow globe play, spinning around. And then Mahomes came on the show. I'm like, hey, when are you going to do the behind-the-back pass? Because things were so easy.
Oh, I
it was
agree
like
with that.
They were showmen out there. And now it's like, the fact that the coach and the tight end are like hitting each other because they're so frustrated, it's okay. That fires them up. But we've just traveled far from when I say like the Chiefs don't feel like the Chiefs.
Oh, I
These are little
agree.
things
I
that
think they're
hit me.
stressed. I think they're stressed. I think your point about Patrick throwing the backwards passes is because he's stressed. I think Kelce reacting this way is because he's stressed. I do think that everything used to be so easy, and now they have an extended stretch of it being hard. I totally agree with that. I'm simply saying I think there is a chance it gets not as easy as it was, but easier again, and we start sliding back down in the other direction. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they did have, the tackle that turned the tide in this game.
We'll
so.
see. You got the
I think
Baltimore Ravens coming to town.
The bigger story with Kelce, I don't think he's playing that well or as good anymore. He's still a good player.
Yeah, but
he's not a great player.
And I think that's part of his frustration.
I think that's a bigger
It's
deal
hard to,
than
it's
the,
hard to accept
Yeah,
that when you've been great for so long.
Brew knows that.
I don't know if who knows that.
No, we don't know. It's like all wide receivers. Like I'm just saying, like.
Well, some receivers are receivers, but they weren't good or great. They just were receivers.
Wow.
Wow.
So they
not
don't
me.
really-
Not me. I don't know who he's talking about.
Don't talk about my guy like that.
I was.
You didn't see the Syracuse high school highlights.
Cleveland.
I missed that.
Dreadful first half for the Eagles set the stage for a heroic comeback. Eagles had -1 passing yards at the end of the first half, only 34 total yards, and then the winning began. Hurts unleashed. A.J. Brown has the best game of the season, and Philly wins on a blocked field goal. Here's Jalen.
It's always good to get a win. It's always good to get a win. And if that doesn't show you what type of team we are, I don't know what does. Now, we completely did that to ourselves in the first half. Completely. We play so many styles of football where in that first half, we got to get out of this playing not to lose. We got to come out aggressive and play our game. You saw our game in the second half.
That was to the world at large. Also felt like an internal.
I don't think listen, I think he gets credit for doing whatever they ask him to do. I do not think he likes the way they have, honestly, called plays for a couple years. You know what I mean? I think that last year it's easier to accept because you're blasting people and Saquon is crushing. This year, if we can put it up, Saquon is not playing well. And Saquon, again, it's too early to be panicked. It's not too early to be mildly concerned. Since, as an Eagle, his 5 worst games as an Eagle, 3 of them are weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like
Something.
that, and so
Get the something.
right. And so the only I'm not even bringing that up to knock Saquon, but if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm like, okay, if he's running for 150 and the defense is shutting people down, that's one thing.
Yep.
But what they did in that first half, which was the run game isn't working, our defense can't get stops, we're not changing anything because God forbid we ask you to throw the ball down the field, would be at best frustrating and at worst insulting. And so I thought this should be a victory lap day for you, KW, because we literally were talking last week, what are they going to do if they find themselves down big? And the answer was Jalen will bail them out with the star receivers. But it's really weird that they opted in the whole first half of playing that style.
Yeah, look, I would love to be in their locker room at halftime just to see the vibe, who comes in, how they come in, just the vibe of the individual.